Good evening and welcome to the monthly meeting of the East Rockaway School Board of Education. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 7:01 p.m. on Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. Could you please stand for the, Denise is going to introduce the pledge of allegiance.
Emma is a shining example of what it means to be a third grader. She's an extremely hardworking, kind, and caring student who approaches each day with dedication and a positive attitude. She always follows directions, gives her best effort in everything she does, and treats others with genuine kindness and respect. She is as sweet as can be and a true role model for her classmates. I am incredibly proud of all that Emma has accomplished in the third grade so far this year, and I am honored to have her represent our school today. Emma?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now we're going to have a PBL project. We're going to have the PBL project presentation by Mr. Murray.
Actually, I'd like to call up Ms. Cordaro to the podium, and she's going to introduce one of the students in her computer science AP class who is working on a very, very exciting project that we want him to share with the community.
Hi. So I'm really excited tonight to introduce my AP Computer Science Principal student, Adam Polakowski, who is going to walk you all through his project that he just recently submitted to the AI Presidential Challenge, which is sponsored by the White House. I wanted to talk a little bit about just the computer science course in general first. It was originally started back in 2018 by Mr. Howard and was part of the technology department. And then in 2022, it got moved to the math department, and that's when I got the chance to teach class. This is a really unique class. It gives students a real true college level experience. They're not just learning how to code, they're learning how to think critically, solve problems, manage long-term projects, and persist through challenges. I intentionally structured this class to mirror a college environment. So students can learn independence, accountability, and confidence before they ever step foot onto a college campus. That rigor is reflected in our results. Last year, our students earned an approximately 80% AP exam pass rate, which significantly surpassed both the New York State average and the global AP pass rate. And this speaks to the strength of the program and the dedication and talent of the students in the class, just like Adam. Just as important as rigor, though, is creativity and student voice, and you're going to see a lot of that today. Computer science really is one of the few subjects where students can combine logic, creativity, and real-world impact. And they really get to show that through the projects that they do in the class, and then also the projects that they get to do outside of the class. And then when they're given that freedom, they really kind of just exceed our expectations. And I really hope that you guys see that today. There is a second AP class, Computer Science A, which I'm really hopeful will be a future course offered at East Rockaway High School. The current principles course that we offer is more of a big picture course that covers the internet, cybersecurity, data privacy, in addition to basic coding. While that next Computer Science A course would be more of a deep dive, focused strictly on software engineering. And that's usually the course that we count as an intro to computer science class for college majors. But in all honesty, the best way for you guys to understand the creativity, technical skill, and real-world problem solving that our students are capable of is by example.
which is exactly what Adam is here to do. So please welcome Adam and his incredible web-based parking intelligence system.
My name is Adam Kolakowski, and I created Smart Park to help combat parking issues. Parking is a persistent problem in East Rockaway, especially during busy hours near stores, residential streets, and community areas. Drivers often spend several minutes circling blocks looking for parking, which increases traffic congestion, wastes fuel, and adds stress to the community. This problem is even more impactful for drivers who need accessible or handicapped parking, where availability is limited and unpredictable. Smart Park was created to address this real community challenge by using artificial intelligence combined with real-time community source data. Smart Park is a web-based parking intelligence system that allows users to submit parking reports, view live availability, and receive AI-powered predictions about whether parking is likely to be available at a given location, time, and spot type. The system distinguishes between general parking and accessible parking, ensuring that accessibility needs are explicitly supported rather than treated as an afterthought. The technical core of Smart Park is a machine learning model called Parking Predictor, implemented using logistic regression. Logistic regression is well suited for this problem because the output is binary, either parking was found or it was not. The model is trained on historical community reports that include location, day of the week, hour, and spot type. From this data, Smart Park predicts the probability of finding parking under similar conditions in the future. A major challenge in building this system was data sparsity. Because Smart Park is community-driven, some locations initially have limited historical data. To solve this, Smart Park uses a tiered fallback system. When recent reports exist, the app displays a live availability status based on a recency window. If live data is unavailable, the AI model generates a prediction using historical patterns. If historical data is insufficient, Smart Park falls back to safe statistical heuristics. This layered approach ensures that the system is reliable, transparent, and usable even during early deployment. One of Smart Park's most innovative features is the interactive map. Locations appear as colored bubbles, green for high availability, yellow for medium, and red for low. The bubble size scales based on the total number of reports for that location and spot type, which visually communicates confidence and data strength. Larger bubbles represent locations with more community input, helping users quickly understand which predictions are supported by stronger evidence. Smart Park also allows users to click directly on the map to add new locations. When a user clicks, the latitude and longitude are automatically captured, and the user can name and save the location. This removes technical barriers and encourages community participation, allowing Smart Park to grow organically within East Rockaway without requiring expert knowledge. Throughout development, I faced real-world engineering challenges, such as inconsistent CSV data, missing fields, timestamp parsing errors, and compatibility issues across different components. I addressed these issues by implementing defensive data loading, automatic column normalization, and error-tolerant AI prediction logic. These improvements made Smart Park stable, scalable, and resilient, qualities essential for real community tools. I would like to thank my supervising adult, Marie Cordero, for her guidance, support throughout this project, and the core idea for this project. I would also like to thank my teachers and school administrators for encouraging innovation and problem solving. I am also grateful to the residents of East Rockaway whose real-world experiences inspired this project and demonstrated the importance of community-driven data. In conclusion, Smart Park demonstrates how AI can be applied responsibly to a real community problem in East Rockaway. By reducing time spent searching for parking, improving accessibility awareness, and empowering the community to contribute data, Smart Park shows how artificial intelligence can meaningfully improve everyday life at a local level. This system could be replicated in other small towns facing similar parking challenges. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam, and thank you, Ms. Cordaro. That was really, I could hear the kind of murmurs in the audience as he was speaking. That is a level of sophistication and a level of care that went into that product that he's working on developing. And honestly, if there were any venture capitalists listening out at home, I think they might want to ring your bell, because this looks like something that could be monetized also, on top of being something that would be really just helpful for the community. So thank you so much, and thank you also for having students like this in your class.
So now we're going to go over new business, and Assistant Superintendent Mr. Murray is going to review that.
Yeah, we have a few items for new business, and just for the people in the audience and listening at home, Mr. DiTomaso does send his regards. He's recovering from shoulder surgery that he had last week. He does wish he could be here, but I will be sharing on his behalf. First off, in new business, we are having a slight change to the budget adoption date. We're now going to add a special meeting that will piggyback on the budget work session that was already scheduled for April 21st. So April 21st will be a budget work session, and it will be the budget adoption. And that's going to allow the school board to adopt the budget to take place in advance of the budget vote as is required by law. Speaking of budget vote, nominating petitions for anyone who is interested in serving as a Board of Education trustee are available in the district clerk's office at this time. Anyone who is wishing to run, they need to complete those nominating petitions and candidate packets, and those must be submitted to the district clerk no later than 5 p.m. on April 20th. We have a few donations we'll be accepting later on this evening, so a big thank you to the Center Avenue PTA for a donation in the amount of $150 for 6th grade activities. Another big thank you to the Rain Avenue PTA for a donation in the amount of $3,000 to be used for 6th grade activities. And then just a little programming note, unfortunately, we do need to reschedule the family engagement night that was planned for tomorrow. Our guest speaker came down ill, and he was trying to tough it out, but he let us know today that he will not be able to present tomorrow. I know a notice went home via Parent Square from Ms. McClellan, and as soon as we were able to arrange a new night with our presenter, we will let families know and put that date back on the calendar.
Okay, so old business, UP. Oh, okay, good.
So we have 2 items for old business. Just a reminder to any families who are looking to participate in our UPK lottery for the 26-27 school year. The interest forms to participate in the lottery are due by the end of the day, Thursday, February 12th. And that form is available on the district website. And then all those who do submit those interest forms, the UPK lottery will be taking place on Wednesday, February 25th at 4 p.m. right here in the high school auditorium. It will also be live streamed, and you do not need to be present to be part of the lottery. Results will be shared with the families shortly after the lottery. Our district clerk takes care of that notification as well. But if you want to be there live and in person, we invite you to do that as well. That's it for all business.
So now we're going to hear from our ex officio student report. Sophia?
All right. Under achievements, you have the high school virtual enterprise class attended a trade show to showcase their business model and placed in the top 50, with judges praising student passion and preparedness. Also in the high school, junior Caitlin Lynch qualified for Nassau County Championship competition in both the 55-meter hurdles and long jump. Currently, seniors are completing presentations for the Seal of Bad Literacy, demonstrating advanced language mastery. The competitive cheer team also held a clinic for elementary students celebrating athletic leadership. Under innovation, the high school designed a new game design and coding course, which started this semester, giving students hands-on experience through video game creation and observation. Miss Ballicor's science research students toured a hydroponics farm, learning about engineering systems behind the operation. Then seeding and harvesting plant varieties such as basil, kale, and romaine lettuce. Under connection, elementary students participated in Valentine's for Veterans with their buddy classes, strengthening relationships and community service across schools. In the high school, Mr. Pullman and Mr. Gregory brought 4 student athletes to a student athlete leadership conference at Great Neck North High School, promoting collaboration and character building. In the high school student cabinet, me and my peers are focusing on subcommittees this month. We're currently developing projects around the red benches, monthly periods off, where instead of focusing on the curriculum, we allow students an outlet to decompress, and outdoor spaces. Each group is working on realistic plans, gathering student feedback, and identifying what we can bring forward next. Lastly, under opportunity, the middle school hosted its first ever boys volleyball game, expanding extracurricular choices for students. And 6th graders left for their Ashokan overnight trip this morning and will be returning tomorrow afternoon, and we look forward to hearing about their experience. That's all.
Thank you, Sophia. And public comments on agenda items. Viewers watching the live stream can send questions about agenda or school matters to Board of Education at eastrockawayschools.org. Concerns should usually be addressed first with the child's teacher or building principal. District level questions go to Superintendent Mr. DeTomosa. Curriculum and instruction questions to Mr. Murray, and budget or facilities questions to Mr. Van Wert. For technology issues, contact Ms. McClelland. In-person attendees who wish to speak should fill out a comment card. At this time, are there any comments on tonight's agenda items? So we'll go through the public comments towards the end. So now we're going to do the approval of minutes. Are there any questions regarding the minutes from the regular meeting on January 13th, 2026? Can I have a motion to approve the minutes, agenda item 1H?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Saluto,
Second.
second by Ms. Lonigan. All in favor?
Aye.
Acknowledgement of the monthly reports and correspondence. Receipt of the monthly financial reports of December 2025 and correspondence that we received 5 emails. Consent agenda. Moving on to make a motion to create and accept the consent agenda. Can I have a motion to create a consent agenda with the following items?
Motion.
Recommendations of superintendent's personal schedule items 4A through F. Other items 5A through G. Approval of CSE and CPSE recommendation is 6A.
Motion.
I have a motion by Ms. Lonigan, second by Ms. Salupo. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Motion approved. We're going to accept, can I have a motion to accept the items on the consent agenda?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Salupo, second.
Second.
Ms. Lonigan, all in favor?
Aye.
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 So moved. Motion approved. Policy matters. The following policies are going to be adopted. 1, 1120-R, School District Records Regulation. 2, 5500-5500-R, Student Records. 3, 550, Student Privacy Under the Protection of Pupil Rights Amendments, EPRA. 4, 8635, 8635R, Information and Data Privacy, Security, Breach, and Notification. Are there any questions from the board regarding these 4 policies?
No.
May I have a motion to adopt policy under agenda item 7B14? Motion by Ms. Salupo,
Second.
second Mrs. Lonigan, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Motion approved. We have 8 policies for review listed on tonight's agenda. So I'm gonna turn it back over to Assistant Superintendent, Mr. Murray, to go over the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Ms. Doyle. So we have a lot of great things happening in the school this month, like we have every month. In the area of achievement, the elementary schools have been holding and are in the process of holding their mid-year data meetings with teacher teams. We're happy to highlight strong performance and substantial growth in reading and math on our iReady and M-Class assessments. They were supported by tiered interventions that have been in place since September. In reading, 41% of our students have already met their growth target for the end of the year, and well over half of our students are at least halfway to their target for the end of the year. During these data meetings, decisions have been made regarding increasing or decreasing academic supports based on the student data, and also discussed were ways to regroup students in the classroom and then interventions for areas identified in need of support, or in some cases, enrichment. The middle school is still testing, and their data should be available after the break. Elementary parents will receive their child's score reports on the iReady assessment later in this week, and middle school parents will receive them after the break. Up in the high school, students in Mr. Duett's life science biology classes have tackled the concept of homeostasis while completing the second state lab of the year. And in a nice timing in this investigation, students were observing how their own body, when exposed to frigid temperatures, will naturally bring itself back to equilibrium over time. Maybe we can blame Mr. Duett for the way. Algebra 2 students have launched their statistics and probability unit with a PBL activity. The classes are collecting school-wide data on school lunch preferences so they can analyze the data and apply it to their concept. And I believe that is Mr. Schaefer sent out a parent square today about the food services, and it's going to help these students with their project. Some great things happening in our arts department. The East Rockaway High School students have earned 67 awards at the Regional Scholastic Art and Writing Awards. The competition awarded students from our high school 13 gold keys, 21 silver keys, and 33 honorable mentions across multiple disciplines in the visual arts, from photography to drawing and painting to digital arts. So we're doing great things. And Sophia Carnisi has been accepted into the Long Island's Best Young Artists competition at the Berkshire Museum of Art. She had one of only 84 pieces that were accepted into that competition from around the island, and her work will be on display at the Berkshire Museum March 29th through May 3rd. So congratulations to Sophia. In the area of innovation, students in Mr. Young's Regents physics classes held a prediction contest trying to make physics fun. Students were asked to predict the exact landing point of a ball as it was launched horizontally off a lab table using kinematics. They placed the target on the floor to predict the landing spot and saw if their calculations were correct, and winners were determined by how close they were to hitting the bullseye. Students in Ms. Patrica's chemistry classes learned about the concept of radioactive decay and explored how certain elements are used to determine the age of very, 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 three veries, old material. They used M&M candies to simulate how carbon-14 decays into nitrogen-14 once every 5,700 years. We also, we heard from him earlier today, but Adam Kolakowski, one of our 9th grade AP Computer Science students, is currently designing an app to display parking space availability in and around local neighborhoods. And like I said, I hope there was some venture capitalists out there listening, because that is an innovative opportunity for sure. Moving on to opportunities, Mr. Gregory and Mr. Van Wart finalized the contract for the merger of our high school football program with West Hempstead. And this will ensure that students from both districts continue to be able to participate in the sport that they love. One home game from each team will be played at West Hempstead, and the other 3 home games will be played at East Rockaway High School. Most practices will take place here in the East Rockaway Fields unless there's a conflict with another game for another team that season. And the merger includes both our JV and varsity teams, ensuring A, we have enough players to have a developmental squad, which is important to keeping the winning program going, and so that we can avoid injuries that could be caused by athletes overplaying in games. So thank you, Mr. Gregory and Mr. Van Wart, for making that happen. In the area of connection, our middle school lacrosse teams will start holding practices on the turf at Rolling River for the upcoming season. This is going to reduce travel time on a daily basis and also helps foster connection with our neighbor next door. Games will still take place at Bay Park. Mr. Healy and the Recruitment and Retention Committee are working with staff of all three buildings to create a series of videos that will feature on our website as part of our hiring and career section. The videos will help candidates or potential candidates connect with our school district as part of finding the best two-way fit that we look for when we're hiring staff. It has to work both ways. You want to be here as much as we want you to be here. We have 3 family engagement events planned for the coming months to allow parents, children, and teachers to connect in new environments around shared interests. On March 31st, we will hold our 3rd annual Celebration of the Cultures of East Rockaway event. That's a slight change from the original calendar date, and that event has grown each year. It's always a lot of fun. On April 23rd, we're going to hold our inaugural Family Literacy Night, which will be an event for all families in grades K through 12, and include a special presentation by an award-winning young adult author, Paul Volponi, and will be in coordination with the East Rockaway Public Library. And on a date to be determined, we will hold a rescheduled family engagement night focused on safe and appropriate use of artificial intelligence. Finally, there is a new document on the district homepage. If you just scroll down about halfway, you'll see information about the rumor versus reality of the potential elementary restructuring plan. Including in this document is also a link to a survey so that all community members can send in feedback, ideas, and questions about the potential plan. And this is only the first avenue by which we'll be seeking community input. So you can visit our website, you can take a look at that document, and you can certainly, we invite you to respond to that survey so we have as much input as possible. And that is it for the superintendent's report.
So we're moving on to good and welfare. We want to congratulate Molly De Benedetto and family on the birth of her daughter, Isabella. Congratulations to Joe Splendorio and family on the birth of his son, Stellan Splendorio. Condolences to Jennifer Vecchio and family on the passing of her grandmother. And congratulations to Callan McNoble and family on the birth of her daughter, Riley Ann. At this time, we're going to move on to public comments. I have 3 sheets here. I'm going to just call the one that I saw first, and then I'll call the other 2. So we have Danielle. Where is the address number? Danielle?
Yes.
Come on down.
I don't know if I necessarily read that on time, but okay.
It's for the people at home.
Okay, oh, fair enough, okay, fair enough. Am I supposed to go into my question? Sorry, I didn't.
Just
Yes.
say your name.
Okay, so I'm Danielle, I have a daughter at Rain Elementary, and I do have some concerns over the potential realignment of the schools. And I just wasn't sure, I wish when this announcement was made, we had more details back in November, because I think it's led to a lot of concerns for the town as a whole, because we were told that there was going to be a change with literally zero information. One of the concerns I had was that, were you aware that in a 2024 study, which looked at 6,500 families, they found that students who attended 3 or more schools as children were 60% more likely to experience at least one psychotic symptom by the time they were 12 years old. And you're asking our children to go to more than one school. You have them either, growing up in daycare or with parents. UPK, which is now no longer in our schools, which I found very helpful for my daughter who was at home her whole life before UPK. I found it very easy transition into kindergarten, and I'm sure some of my colleagues who didn't have their children in the UPK at Rain
could probably say that their adjustment was a little bit more difficult. So you're asking them to go to being at home or in daycare, to then going to a separate UPK, then asking them to go from a K through 3, a 4 through 6, and then a middle school and high school. And I just want to know, were those statistics looked at all? Were you also aware that students who change schools more often are less likely to complete high school and have fewer years of a college education? And are you also aware that a school district in Westchester County was actually sued by their town over the Princeton plan? And a modified plan came up that made both sides happy? I don't want to come with all of my concerns, because I have many, many more concerns, but I wanted to come with statistics to those concerns, because I want to let you know that we're not just here to complain. We're here because we want answers and solutions. Thank you.
I would just like to respond to that. I thank you, first of all, for coming and speaking. I find all the information very important. I would love it if you can send us that report that you have. I would really appreciate that. And just to be very clear, there has been no decision made. So I just want everyone here to know that this is something that we're talking about. There is no decision that is going to be made unless it is a full decision by teachers and families. And it's just something that we're looking at.
I just wish it was something that we had before
We're
you said that, you know? Like,
I understand the
but
frustration.
I'm happy to send you what I got.
I would appreciate that. And I'm not discrediting anything that you said, and I understand your frustration. And yes, we will be presenting information to everyone if we get to that part.
And then just, as the assistant superintendent, I'm not authorized to respond directly to these comments, but I am writing everything down, and when Mr. DiTomaso is back, I will certainly share these with him, and as appropriate, we'll be getting back in touch with people.
I do have one question. Because we normally don't see this big of a crowd, and I really enjoy it. For everyone that is here concerned about the Princeton plan, can you just raise your hands? Thank you.
Next up, we have Lauren Pritchard.
Hello, I'm Lauren Pritchard. I have a son and daughter at Rave Avenue. I also have a question about the Princeton plan. As the board considers the potential realignment of the elementary schools, can you explain how the district is evaluating the emotional and psychological impact on students, specifically the mental anguish, stress, and disruption caused by an unexpected school change? In my family, my son is currently in the 1st grade, my daughter's in the 4th grade at Raymond Avenue. Under this plan, my son would be required to leave Raymond Avenue for 1 year for 3rd grade, just to return again for 4th through 6th. This not only forces him to adjust to a new school environment temporarily, but also removes him from being at the same school with his sister. So what measures, data, or child-focused assessments is the district using to determine whether this type of disruption is in the best interest of students' emotional well-being, and how will families' concerns about stress and anxiety be weighed in the final decision?
We are definitely looking at every aspect of everything. I personally love all the questions. Sometimes it's something that we don't think about. So the more questions we get, the better of a decision we can make. And when I say we, I'm talking about the board hearing everybody's voice and making that decision, because the decision is not going to be something that we agree on. It's a decision for the community. So definitely hear everything you're saying. We are in no way making any decision at the moment. We are reviewing everything. So I just want to let you know that.
Thank you. And just for me, there's also, like Danielle was saying, 1,000 other logistical questions everyone has. The logistical questions, you guys, I'm sure, will come up with logistical answers for. And it's just like, how do you weigh like the emotional toll you're doing to these kids that are in school now? that are just gonna have to have this disruption to their life and essentially be guinea pigs to this redistricting plan.
That's definitely
Mental
thought
health
to
is,
take into consideration.
And logistic planning, like this, we don't have answers yet. That's how early it is. It's all being put together and hashed out before we even say we would even consider presenting it to the public. So
If that's the case, then why is there a tentative start date?
There's not.
It is,
There-
September
there is
2027.
September
Oh, well,
She put that in his
20,
newsletter.
tentative start date, because it got out that it was being considered. So we had to answer and just say, it's not September 2026, it's if 2027, maybe 2028, who knows?
Because we were getting questions, how are we gonna do this by next year? So they came out with the date that it definitely, it's
Will
not
not be
gonna be that
next year,
fast.
right,
It's not gonna be that fast. That's why that date.
and I will tell you that mental health is definitely something that we are definitely discussing, not only for our students, but for our community. So it's definitely one of the biggest topics that we're talking about. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Next up, we have Teresa.
Hi, my name is Teresa, and my daughter is Marley. She's in kindergarten at Rain. So one of the things I found online was, and you brought this up in the last meeting, is that you guys were looking at this in 2011. I found an article in the Long Island Herald. I'm just curious why you guys didn't do it in 2011, 2012. Did you have a backlash like this?
Well, we weren't on the board at that time, and it was a different superintendent. We couldn't even stand. That's how bad the backlash was.
It definitely was not an organized plan back in 2011. It was that we were going to realign the district, and that's how we're going to do it. There was no, I can tell you, the administration and the board, we take everything that is being told to us. We have teams of people working on this information. We take all that information and then we sit, and that's why we don't have physical answers for anyone right now. We are working through everything, whether this is something that is the best for our students or it is not going to be the best for our students. So when we say that we have a plan, we have a discussion, we have groups, we are working through the process. Back then, they didn't discuss anything about transportation. This time, transportation is a big part of it. We can all say how we feel, but it's not our decision to make. This is the decision for a community. And before it even goes to the community, we have to make sure that this is something that our teachers think that is what our students need. So there's multiple steps that we are going through, and it's not something that we take lightly. This is something we discuss on every meeting, multiple meetings. If it's not just our regular meetings, we add additional meetings. So we are taking every bit of information and we are working through it. And if this isn't the plan for us, then we work on another plan. We want our students to get the best education they possibly can. And that includes mental health, education, and our community outpour. So if our parents are not happy, how do we get them to be part of our school district? So it's all one big group.
So that leads me to my second question. The superintendent last month was saying that a part of the reason was that the resources are not even at the school. So I'm not very knowledgeable in this, but my common sense was kind of saying, can we hire more therapists to make it even? Because your therapists are not needed just in the K through 3. You're going to need therapists.
Now, or if the Princeton plan was in place.
They were saying that the reason, one of the reasons for the
It wasn't
Princeton
therapy.
plan.
60 needs intervention.
Interventions were,
Okay.
sorry,
Okay.
again, not real knowledgeable.
Okay.
So the resources are not even, is
Right.
one of the reasons why we want to introduce this plan. So then I'm thinking, do we just hire more?
That is definitely
That's
something we are
we are
considering.
100%
That is
considering.
definitely-
Like I said, it's not just the principal plan we're discussing.
We're discussing a million other
multiple
plans.
different.
Can I jump in there? So, two things is in 2011, a lot of schools considered or went to the Princeton plan for purely financial reasons. It was after the state aid got cut with the stock market crash. When we're looking at it now, and again, emphasizing looking at it, it's service-based, interventionist for the kids, balancing out and getting as much intervention for, academic services to the student body as a whole. And yes, we are looking at, they did talk about the imbalance between the two schools. You know, there's larger classes at Rain currently and smaller classes at Center. We have sped education at Rain and a resource room at Center. So if we did the Princeton plan, it would be full sped E&L services at both buildings. And the thing everybody asks is, can we do everything at both buildings? So part of the process of developing and reviewing the plan is to price out, what if we do full services at both schools? How much is that gonna cost?
And the benefits.
So,
Aren't you gonna need
And-
that both schools anyway, if you split it up?
excuse me?
Aren't you gonna need that both schools anyway, if you split it up? Because now you're gonna take K through, grade, you're gonna need special ed and ESL for K through grade, and then you're gonna need it for 4%.
Yes, you are correct.
So you're gonna need that both schools regardless.
We're gonna need it at both schools, but there'll be what's called an inclusion class. There'll be K-3, there'll be one class per grade at Center, and there'll be one class per grade for 4, 5, and 6 at Rain. So,
So what I can definitely say is that we, as you can see, this is not something that we take lightly. We hear you. I really, every time you guys come, I want to hear every question that you have. We're not in that process yet where we're saying this is what we're doing. Because we hear you, we know that you're invested, we know that this is, your kids, their education. We don't sit here taking any question, anything that comes our way lightly. So we take all that information, we discuss it, we see the concern. And again, maybe this is not our plan, maybe we look at something different, maybe you brought more information to us that we haven't seen. But no decision has been made, and we are still at the very, 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 very beginning of this whole process. And the fact that the administration was able to share it with you is because they want your feedback. They want to hear from you. It's not that we don't listen and we're not trying to take any information. We do want that. Otherwise, this would have been something like we would have said, I'm sorry, we cannot discuss that. That's not what we're looking for. So sometimes if you ask a question, we may not have the exact answer at that moment, but it doesn't mean that we're not going to take that question and figure out the answer.
The survey that was put out, as of right now, if you read it, those were the only answers that we do have. But I have a question again. How many Green parents? And how many Center parents? And out of the parents, are any parents parents of E&L students?
Services?
It would be
English as a new language.
As a new language. Any parents English as a new language? Any parents special ed? Okay. And again, just like we all said, there's the survey is out, and I believe, yes,
Parents with special needs that are not IEPs.
not IUPs, okay. So we do, I know that the district has put out that survey, and keep putting in the questions that you have. One good thing I'm seeing is that I do see that a lot of parents are very happy from this group with the education, the way it's going now. They are happy with the education, which makes us happy, because that's our biggest concern, that everybody, every student in our district gets the best education. And we are exploring many, many options because things are changing. And
Services, need for services are going up, so don't panic. Do not panic. This is, when I tell you, it's like the top of the iceberg right now. Just focus on what we're doing now. Let's just keep doing what we're doing now. And as things move forward, we will put out information. And all your questions, I believe they can put on that survey.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna reiterate, while we love having an audience here because it's been lonely for a couple of years, you don't need to come to the meeting to ask these questions, so please take advantage of the link on that document to the survey. And that will guarantee that your questions are read, and I guarantee you that Mr. DiTomaso and the team are reading every single response that comes into that survey and taking every single response under advisement. So while we are happy that you're here and we welcome you to come and speak at the microphone, you don't need to wait a month to ask those questions. So feel free to answer that, to send them in via the survey.
As Mr. Murray has said, we do see our emails. So you ever need to send an email, send it to the Board of Education, with the administration, and Mr. DiTomaso. We see him. We are not able to respond. We do discuss them. And I can tell you, as being a parent of four kids, sitting on that other side, I never missed a meeting. I had the same feeling as you. Why are my questions being answered? Why do I feel like I'm being ignored? I can tell you right now, especially with this group, you are not being ignored. We hear everything that you're saying, and we definitely take all the information and discuss it. And we discuss it at length. Every question, every concern. Whether it's a positive, negative, it's about us making sure you have what you need for your family, your kids, the community.
And we want to provide answers, so if we get the questions, we can formulate the answers. I don't want to frustrate it here, but, they don't have answers.
Does anyone else have any other comments?
Can I ask another question? Sorry. So I know you said you were gonna look at, interventionists on both schools. Are you
Could
also gonna
you
be?
do me a favor, could you just, because the people at home can't hear if you're not on the mic, I appreciate it.
So I know you said that, part of the consideration was gonna be looking at interventionists in both schools.
Mm-hmm.
Are you also going to take that breakdown into how much the cost is gonna be for busing the children back and forth, as well as this additional staffing that you're gonna have to hire for the buses, and what the ratio is of staff to children, and what's then gonna happen if a child is 2 minutes late? Or what's gonna happen if the school gets stuck at the train track? Are all of our children gonna be considered late and tardy that day because of the train track? So just something to consider and kind of let us know as well, be helpful.
That is where we are with the transportation.
We're spending a lot of time on it.
A lot.
And I was on Center Avenue this morning with that coach bus, leaving from traffic. And I said, we need to think about this. Just be clear. Anybody else? You have to come up.
Go ahead.
Come on down.
Just if you could say your name into the microphone, please.
I have a question. Sit on that side.
Hi, Jessica.
Just your last name, please.
Tadeo. We had questions about, have we looked into the traffic patterns in the morning because the train comes every 15 minutes? And
Definitely not. This is something what we have been discussing at
yeah, because there's only 2 roads in and out, and then the train comes every 15 minutes and blocks both sides of the road.
Yeah.
So that's like a huge,
Yes. This is something that's big for us, yes.
just because that's definitely one of like the hot topics in our group that we have now to talk about
So
this
would you say
specifically.
this, at this moment, besides the social emotional, transportation is major, I guess?
Are you the map person?
Huh? I have a map.
Someone submitted a map.
Someone submitted a map to me, so I'm bringing it up.
I love maps.
My husband saw that on the Facebook page, and he was like, this lady is great. Oh, we have a Facebook page on this.
And whoever had that link for the I'm sorry.
Yes,
The link, if you, before you leave,
the
or
survey.
just send us it for that survey, can you send us that link or?
So, can I join that Facebook group?
That's
It's up to you guys,
that's up to the group of moms who started it.
and I don't have to, but you can.
I mean, I can definitely bring you into the loop
They
on
might,
a lot of the questions we have.
if we can get the questions beforehand, so we can put that in.
Well, that was just my thing, the traffic patterns, if you guys are looking into that deeply, because it comes every 15 minutes, both times, back and forth, and now, like, if we're going to pick up our kids and we get stuck behind the train, now our kids are gonna be standing there, that's an emotional toll, because who wants to be that kid left behind by their parent?
I agree with you.
Teachers aren't gonna like it either, they're not the same way.
Can I ask, I know you said that there's a lot of questions on that Facebook page. It would be helpful for us, because I know a lot of people can't make meetings. It's difficult, especially when you have young kids or, you have stuff going on. If there are questions that aren't being asked, just write them down. If you don't want them answered at one of the board meetings, send them to us in an email.
Or the survey.
Or the survey.
Or the survey.
Exactly. All that information is extremely important to us.
Because if we don't see it, again, we may not think of something, especially that our kids are older now. You guys are in the thick of it, so,
I think most everyone is really concerned about the psychological aspect and the logistical aspect of having two kids in two different schools, and just the traffic patterns of flip-flopping the kids, on top of not wanting to bus your kid to extend their day by a known amount of time back and forth, because people had extracurriculars and homework and all that. So I think that was a big topic.
I definitely hear you. I was that mom with 3 kids at one point in 3 different schools.
5 different things to do every single day of the week.
I was on 2 wheels getting to school every day. So I definitely hear you.
And I won't be in that Facebook group, you guys, chatter amongst yourselves, and I shouldn't be.
and thank you again.
Yes, thank you. And I know I said earlier that I can't speak for the district, and I really can't, but what I can do is assure you that if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And that's why we're doing this now. And that's something I think Mr. DiTomaso would be saying if he were sitting here is, we don't have a preconceived notion. We're exploring, we're checking, we're testing. We need this input. And we will look at every item with beyond a fine-tooth comb. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. We have not made any preconceived notions or decisions about this. And I think Mr. DiTomaso will forgive me for saying that.
Well, it's the truth. It is the truth. I know we all say it all the time, but we sit here as representation of the community. So if we don't take your questions and your concerns sincerely, then we're just wasting everyone's time. And I know I have not a lot of time to waste, so we definitely hear everything that you're saying. Thank you. No, anyone else?
Okay, so,
And we have one more.
Oh, sorry.
I gotta tell you that we normally don't do this, but because you guys are a good group, we're gonna.
And just also, and next, in the future, if you fill out one of the forms, because we'd like to have the exact name and phone number and stuff, so if we ever needed to reach out to you.
Let's go with that.
Hi, my name is Lisa Brewer. I am a mom of 4, and well, 2 of mine currently attend Reed. I know we talked about, to me, I was the one who submitted the map and the picture and the train schedule, which I do have printouts. I don't know if anybody is interested in them, just easy to look at. Yeah, I can get them over. But on top of that, me and my husband both work full-time. We utilize both the before-school programs, the after-school programs, using Scope, the breakfast program, and then certain days of the week, we're able to pick the kids up from school and bring them home. I wanted to know if there are going to be provided these shuttles and whatnot, how the after-school and before-school programs, how those are going to be handled. Will my kids now be going to Scope at another school where there's not going to be transportation for them back at 5:30 when it's time for me to pick them up? Am I going to have to drop them off at the breakfast program in the morning at Rain Avenue School? And then who's going to be in charge of getting them over to Center Avenue when it's time? the logistics of that. I'm imagining my youngest son, who's actually, it's his third birthday today, and I left the party and I felt bad, but I said, you know what, like, I want to go because I want to make sure that when it's time for him to go to kindergarten, that I'm able to be there and pick him up like I did for his brothers whenever I want to, and not have to worry whether I'm going to have to pick and choose, can I pick him up today or his other younger brother who was not in school yet either. So at some point, as a parent, we have to make decisions. Okay, I love the fact that I can go pick up my kids anytime I want, and I feel like most parents love having that opportunity. And by doing this, it's going to take that away. Maybe not from everybody, maybe not for, certain parents, depending on the logistics, how it works out. But I'm telling you, for parents like me, who will have multiple kids in different, I'm gonna have to literally pick and choose which child I'm gonna go pick up. Maybe get him on a schedule. Oh, Thursday's Luke's day, Friday will be Oliver's day, Wednesday's Harrison's day. I have to pick and choose, and I don't wanna be put in that position. I love when I'm able to go to the school. That's where, after school, that's where you meet the other parents, you meet the teachers, you get that face-to-face time. You don't get that on a regular, that's the only time you really get to do that. You get to meet the teachers, the back-to-school meetings and the meeting, but it's nice being right there. Your kids come running out, the smiles on their faces. Mommy, I'm here. Like, that's something that so many people are going to lose if this plan goes into effect. So I'm sure that's already been something that people thought about, but to me, on top of everything else, of course, the emotions of the students, but we gotta think of the emotions of the parents as well. Like, I don't wanna lose that, and I'm gonna be really upset if I do. And I've also been thinking about all of the students, everybody here now, everybody that's here now have students that are currently in the school. That's how they've been informed. But think about all the parents and community out there who don't even know this is something that may be happening. My neighbors across the block, they have a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old. They have no idea that this is coming down. And it's something that I've started to talk to other people about because I do feel like they'll want to know. And this is something I can't imagine not having that opportunity to go ahead and pick up my kids whenever I see fit and whenever it's available, and not have that, connection with them and to meet the teachers and everything. So
What field day are you going to? You're gonna have to pick what field day you go to.
that's true. You can
Whose
choose
first day of
because
school you're going to, whose last day of school you're going to.
the questions keep coming. But it is, so.
I want to say thank you. These are definite questions that we have brought up. But when we hear it from a parent, it's not just us saying, okay, when I have my kids in school, this is my focus, is this. Hearing it from the community is extremely important. So again, every question is important. Great. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your time.
Last chance. Anybody else? Okay, now board member comments?
Okay. I said enough. Have a great night. Thank you, everybody.
I'll say a few things. I'd like to say thank you to Emma for saying the pledge. Adam, thank you. Great presentation. I know I missed some of it, but I will, actually, they haven't stopped talking about it. I have to be honest with you. So, Bill Gates has, I guess, nothing on you. But I would like to congratulate the music and art department. I was not able to attend, but I did see a lot of videos and photos, and I know that they always put on such wonderful performances. I am an East Rockbury graduate. All of my kids graduated from here. My husband graduated from here. So when I see traditions carrying on, like the musical, Rockbury, and certain other aspects that we just discussed, it makes me proud. It makes me proud to stay here, to live here, and to be part of this board. So for everyone that had a question or just showed up tonight, I want you to know that it's extremely appreciated. Take it, take all the information. We will actually be waking up in the middle of the night, jotting down questions. That's what we do. And then the next day we're on the phone with each other for an hour saying, okay, we have to meet. And then we make another meeting, and it's additional meetings on top of all not only these meetings that we are at, but we do take every concern that you bring to us, even if it's something as simple as that the kids don't like the lunch. We worry about that and we take it into effect. So again, appreciate all the comments. Please don't ever feel like you can't come to us, send us an email. That's what we're here for. I just want to say thank you to everybody for coming. And I can't wait for our library. As everybody knows, I'm a big RR person. And I look forward to our next meeting. Thank you. And James, we did miss you tonight.
So yes, we all had a lot to say tonight, but I do want to commend Adam on his project. I could have used it yesterday because I went to the city for lunch. So I drove to the Center Resident parking lot at 9, count how many empty spots there were. So I drove back at 11, yet I parked and got on the train. That would have come in handy. So, but other than that, this is gonna conclude tonight's board meeting. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at? Sophie. Sorry, guys.
So I wanted to say congratulations to Caitlin and thank you to Adam, that was really impressive, as well as Emma.
I apologize. So now we're gonna conclude tonight's board meeting, and can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:02 PM?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Lonigan,
Second.
second by Ms. Lupo. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved, motion approved. Good night, everybody.
And have a great break next week to all the
Yes,
students
enjoy
out
the
there.
Enjoy.
Oh, and James,